headphones in.
Good afternoon, family. I'm Lynette Grayson, a motivational speaker and a published author. I have a young man, a black man, a king with me. His name is Daryl Cook. He mentors young black men here in Chicago, and he has a program called Minds Over Nines. So, would you tell us what you do straight up with no chaser?
Absolutely, Queen. First and foremost, I appreciate you for having me on the podcast. It's a pleasure and an honor. You know, I love you. Every time I call on you, you always there, so I appreciate you. Straight up with no chaser, I was a person who was a problem in the community before. I was incarcerated for 10 years. Unfortunately, for me not being able to control my emotions, and I was upset because my ex-wife was with another man, and so I shot. Fortunately, I didn't take anybody's life. I shot through a glass window. I went to jail in Cook County. The bullet actually grazed my ex-wife as well. I need to say that because before I talk about where I'm at now, everyone needs to see all the pitfalls that I went through to get here. So that particular day, I was incarcerated. I stayed incarcerated in the county for the next 2 years. I was found guilty. I got sentenced to 12 years at 85%. And through that time of being incarcerated at the maximum penitentiary at Menard, like I had time to look at myself. Everything else was taken away. It was just me inside the mirror, and I was ashamed at what I saw. I was embarrassed, and I realized at that moment how much I not only impacted myself, but my children, my family, how I harmed my ex-wife, how I put our children in a position that they almost lost their father and their mother. And so I made a vow to myself while I was in prison. And my aha moment was with my mom, because my mom was also incarcerated at the same time. Let me say that.
Wow.
My mom was incarcerated for murder, attempted armed robbery, and she got sentenced to 60 years. So she got incarcerated when I was 7. And that's important and intricate to my story because of the historical trauma that's attached to that. So when I was in prison, I thought about that. My aha moment was my mom sending a letter from Dwight Correctional Center to Menard Correctional Center. We had correspondence due to the two wardens at the institutions. And in that letter, my mom had pleaded and begged with the warden at Menard Correctional Center to take the time off my sentence and put it on her so her son can go home. And on that day, I think that's the day that I truly, truly became a man.
Wow.
And I had to tell myself, I knew the warden couldn't do that. I knew he couldn't put my time on my mom's sentence, but I told myself, and I told the warden, that's the last time in my life that I would ever put my mom in a position where she'll have to beg another man for my freedom. And after that day, I stopped going to the yard and just hanging out, lifting weights. It wasn't about that anymore. It was about me educating myself. How can I get out of prison? What type of man am I going to be when I come home? Because I got children. When they say my name, I want them to be able to say their father's name with respect. And so I was once part of the problem. They say those that are closest to the problem are closest to the solution. Therefore, I harmed the community with knives, with guns. I have to help and correct the community. And so that's what made me come up with a program called Minds Over Nine. Because what I noticed was in prison, nobody had weapons. All I had then for weapons was my mind and my left and my right. And I made it 10 years. I survived. And that's just not that, that truly is that serendipity, but it's not by coincidence. The Creator didn't bring me this far just to drop me off here. So my Minds Over Nines program is why I help men correct errors in thinking. I deal with the trauma that's attached to a black man wanting to cause harm to another black man, or in my particular case, someone who you're in a relationship with, or a black man. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for black men 18 to 34, and we got over 60,000 black women missing. This is where my focus is 25 hours a day, 8 hours a week, This is how I repay the community for the wrong that I've done. And again, I'm honored to be on this podcast, but this is the reason that I have a program called Maps Over Nines. If you know someone in the Chicagoland area that is looking for a program that can help, inbox me, reach out to me. If it's not the Maps Over Nines program, then I'll be able to connect you with another program like Chicago Bread, Youth Peace Center, Champs Meal Mentoring. But this is what my life is about right now. I was once part of the problem, so I got to be part of the solution.
My brother, I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. God got you. That grace, that mercy, and that favor be hidden, man, every day, every night, all night.
Queen. You know, and the only way for you to be able to see that is if it's inside you as well. So everything you said, I'm sending it right back to you, Queen. I'm honored. I appreciate you, and I love you right back.
I appreciate you, and I love you too. Have a good day, baby.
All right, you as well, Queen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, family. That's it. That's my brother, my king.